Are Jalen Green and Devin Booker ready to win now in Phoenix? I don't know. I'm just ready for them to have some fun. Psychos and Sitkos unite for another Mailbag Monday edition of PHNX Suns, coming to you live from downtown Phoenix. I'm Eric Moody. That's Stephen Prejean Garner. That is Gerald Bourget. We got old Mangled Toes, a.k.a. the Juice Man, a.k.a. the Freckled Mamba. That one's not going away, Ayrton. Behind the Mac, making all of the magic happen. But today's show, of course, literally does not happen without all of you submitting your questions and, of course, live here in our chat, watching on YouTube after the fact, listening on audio, or watching on TV. Thank you all so much. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. 5-star reviews on audio go such a long way. And we have some new exciting stuff when it comes to the PHNX Sports YouTube page as a whole. We have now released YouTube memberships. We have June Thomas in the chat, who has already become a Hall of Fame level member. You get special edition badges next to your name in the chat. You get access to custom emojis that you can spam in chat for each show. We'll have a Cardinals one. We'll have Suns. We'll have D-backs, ASU, U of A. Plus, you'll get access to fun behind-the-scenes vlogs. Nothing essential is going to be behind this, so don't view it as a paywall to get any essential PHNX Sports content. Just think of it as a different way to support us if you choose to do so, and if you want to be more active in the chat. It's $5 a month with some tiers above that if you want to become a Hall of Fame member like June Thomas has in the chat, but it should be a lot of fun. I can't wait to get a left hand emoji.
Left hand up.
Yeah.
I was more looking forward to Shazam, but I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah. What if you could pick an emoji, Steven, to give the chat to spam, what would it be? The context emoji?
You said an emoji to spam?
Yeah, like a custom PHNX Suns emoji.
Alignment.
I think we do need an alignment.
Yeah, that's probably the best we could get.
Bucket hat emoji?
A bucket hat emoji would be cool, but the alignment one is probably the best one.
Side-eye emoji for all the side-eyes that Steven gives me anytime I say something that could spam a little side-eye.
How about nerd glasses?
Ooh. You know what? Leave it to the nerd to have a great idea.
Unreal. Unreal. We need a white tortilla with a mouth.
Oh, the talking tortilla. You know, that hasn't caught on, I think, the way that you wanted it to catch on.
It's really unfortunate because it is your best nickname outside of white noise.
You have to keep using it.
I'm going to.
You have to be like, all right, what's up, talking tortilla? I mean, it does roll off the tongue. I do have to admit that. How are we feeling on a Mailbag Monday?
Feeling good. Feeling ready for the season to start at this point, honestly. But we're getting closer, so.
Less than a month away. How you feeling, Steven?
Feeling great. Looking forward to talking basketball and not
emojis.
Well, emojis, but also the nonsense going on all off season.
Well, we have some nonsense first and foremost, unfortunately. This question comes from Psycho Blue in our Die Hard Discord. Says, wasn't KD one of the most high-usage players in the Suns throughout his time, and especially last season where there was seemingly no offensive scheme of any sort other than KD, ISO, and jack-up threes? Now, why is Psycho Blue asking this question? Well, because a former teammate of Kevin Durant and a former member of the Phoenix Suns talked to Basketball News. Of course, this is during Eurobasket. Talked about how KD was surprised at how little he was used in Phoenix, considering what he was doing. Now, I will say this, there is more to this quote that I'm going to read for you here in a second. But before we dive into some other stuff, the messaging from Micic was essentially Kevin Durant was frustrated with how he was used in Phoenix. I'm not sure how much stock to put in this. This is somebody who was in the locker room, at least for a little bit. They didn't play that much. But what was your reaction to seeing this, Gerald?
It's interesting, not surprising. I would be curious what the rest of the quote says for the full context, because that'll probably shape my opinion a little bit more. I think KD ranked 24th in the NBA in usage rating last year, and I think Devin Booker was 21st. So he was up there, probably not as high as I think people would expect based on watching Phoenix play. But it felt like the Suns or Mike Budenholzer at least wanted to play one way, and Kevin Durant wanted to play another way because Kevin Durant is good at what he does and scoring in the spots that he's been scoring throughout his entire career. So it just wasn't a good mesh in that way. Do you have the rest of the quote for context?
Quote, he's surprised at how little he was used in Phoenix as an example, considering what he's doing. KD often has that uncomfortable body language, but he's actually a cool guy. That's just his protection. He has his reasons for being that way, but he's very open to conversation. He's extra intelligent. We used to talk about his basketball vision. We used to talk, and his basketball vision is on a completely different level from understanding to analyzing the opponent. So he goes on to say he has his reasons and how he looks at things, and he can maybe be a little protected, but was just surprised by how little he was used in Phoenix as part of maybe one of the reasons why it didn't work out. What was your reaction, Steven, to hearing all of that?
I could see why that might be true, considering how predictable the offense was. And it was literally just get him the ball and watch him for varying moments past the first 2.5 months of the regular season. They weren't doing enough around to have a offense that it had a semblance of like a true system, if you will. Mm-hmm. It felt more so put your cape on and save us. And if you get double teamed, hopefully you make a good pass out. Otherwise, stalemate. Like there was no process to really assess from more often than not.
I think when I'm looking at this quote, I wonder if maybe what Micic was more trying to say was kind of surprised with how he was used instead of like how much, because I do think there's no denying Kevin Durant was a central point to the Suns offense. Right. But I was frustrated with the Suns offense. I can't imagine what it was like for KD and Devin Booker and all that. So I don't know if maybe there was some miscommunication there, because I don't know if it was the solution to all the Suns' problem was just give Kevin Durant the ball more. It was give Kevin Durant the ball in better situations.
Yeah, but I felt like they got him the ball in the elbow or the block extended a lot, which is where he's good at operating. I think that they stuck to that a little too much, honestly, and I don't feel like they used him creatively outside of that. So I feel like putting him in easier spots to score would have helped, instead of, okay, Kevin, here's the ball, here comes the double team, make a play out of it, like Steven said, put on your cape and go save us type stuff. All around just did not optimize any of the talent that they had in that offense, but it's especially glaring when you look at Kevin Durant and Devin Booker within that context.
Yeah, and again, like I'm not trying to disrespect Vasa Micic. I'm really not. That being said, we cannot just take his word as gospel. Now, this is somebody in the locker room for the first time really speaking about this. So there is at least a reason to bring it up, but I'm not going to walk away here and be like, well, that's stone cold truth. Maybe there was a conversation after a game that Kevin Durant was frustrated with how he was used, but that's not the whole story, the whole situation. I don't know. I personally am just kind of ready for no more conversations about Kevin Durant on the Suns.
Wash our hands of it, but I will say he was in the locker room for only a few weeks, but saw like 2,000% more than any of us on the outside did. So I would buy into what he's saying. He was there. Yeah.
Well, if you want to read it for yourself, it's at Basket News. You can go ahead and check that whole article out, talking about Vasa's time in Eurobasket, time on the Suns, and everything like that. But we're going to move on here on PHNX Suns. We also posted our mailbag questions on Reddit. I said, what is the biggest question for the Suns this upcoming season? Kwazaki responded and said, the biggest question is just, will the Suns be fun to watch?
I hope so. I think they'll be more fun. Like, they might not win more games. They might win the same. They might even win less than last year, but the context is different. The trajectory is different. And hopefully the nightly entertainment and fight that they show will be different. Last year's team had all the talent in the world and no fight. This year's team doesn't have as much talent, but if they have a lot more fight, it's going to make this team a lot easier to watch.
I mean, that's up to the viewer or consumer's discretion. Mm-hmm. If you have expectations of a team to be top 5 in the West, you're going to be underwhelmed by it. If you have the appropriate expectations for them or close to that, or you're looking at things past just a win-loss record more than anything else, I think this team has multiple ways that they can appease what different things, different fans, different sections of fans might be looking for.
Yeah, I think they're going to be more fun simply also from like, besides obviously the KD highlights, which were so high, you have a guy like Jalen Green who's going to give you some pretty fun moments. Hopefully you get more Ryan Dunn, Oso Iguodaro, some fun with that as well. And I think you're going to have some absolute heaters from Devin Booker. I would be floored if we were sitting here in 3 to 4 months saying this team isn't at least fun. Right? Because that's also part of the identity they've been preaching, and why they've built the team the way they're going to be built is because they want to have, a fun team that tries hard and gives that extra effort. And that was why the Suns were so not fun last year. It was like, oh man, these are all the things they're missing. Supposedly, according to them, that has been their plan to fix for this entire offseason.
Yeah, we just got to realign our expectations a bit, because for the last few years, it's been, this is a title contender. This is a team that should be competing for something. Now we're kind of having to go a little bit back, not all the way towards the dark days, but a little bit more in where it's a process over results type of way of evaluating a team and seeing certain things that you can build on in the future, even if it's not resulting in a bunch of wins right now. And if they do, and if they surprise us, then great. Yeah. But process over results this year.
And process over results, but like, let's win some games.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, let's not be like a team like the Utah Jazz last
No.
year. That would not be fun. I don't want those process over results.
Yes.
We do have a couple questions from Eric with a C. First one is, planning any live streams for the 2 pre-dawn Macau preseason games? Rise and shine with the Suns. No.
Sorry, but 2 of those are on the weekend, and it's like at 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
We're psychos and sickos, but we also got to load manage before the season starts as well.
Yeah, I believe one is on a Saturday, and then one's on a Monday. So that Saturday, we will not be doing a post-game show or anything. That Monday, our 3 p.m. show, we're going to basically treat like a post-game show. So we're going to have you covered. But no. We love you all so much.
No.
Also asks, should the Suns explore promoting a doubleheader experience on January 25th and February 1st when both the Suns and Valley Suns have home games with staggered start times? PHX Arena is only a short light rail ride away from Mullet Arena.
That would be really cool. I don't know the rules on stuff like that as far as potential red tape league rule type stuff, but if there's nothing obstructing it, that would be a cool way to spend a full day with the Suns and Valley Suns.
Why not?
Yeah.
If it works, why not?
Yeah.
Do it. Good questions, good ideas, Eric with the C, but no 5 a.m. post-game shows.
Going back.
Yeah, no. I just want to reiterate. No. Nate, for you, with our second question from our diehard Discord, says 2-parter. First, reiterate your predictions for the Suns' record this season and what position they finish in the standings. Second, redo your predictions of the Suns' record and position if they play in the East instead of the West. So you have our record predictions.
I do. So I had them at 36 wins. Eric has them at 39. Steven has them at 40. If they played in the East, I would go like 44 wins, maybe 43, somewhere in that range.
What do you think?
Yeah, I was thinking about 44 or 45, depending on health of Devin Booker in particular. But the East is wide open right now for multiple reasons, and it would definitely be a probably middle seed over there.
That's crazy.
I really wish they played in the East, man.
Yeah.
Even these last couple of seasons, I'm not saying they would win a championship, but they would have been a top 4 seed in the East.
The last couple of years, it would have been harder to get to the finals.
Yeah, but like I said, they're not going to win a championship, but in the regular season, yeah. Especially like think about when we went through the Suns schedule this year, how many just brutal, it's like OKC and then Dallas and then Denver and then Houston and then, San Antonio. Well, they're feisty. What about Portland? They're feisty. Like Portland's probably a top 6 team in the East this upcoming year, man. Like it would change a ton. I'd say they win 46 games in the Eastern Conference. So above 500 in the playoffs, without a doubt. Possibly more, honestly, depending on how weak the rest of the East is. But good question, Nate. Another question from Topher, this one on Twitter, says, if all of our rookies and/or key players ball out and exceed expectations, do we consider making them available in trade for a big name acquisition? Or do we choose to keep them and see what their ceiling outcome could be?
Depends on the player and their contract for me, and their age, honestly, because I think if young players look great, then you keep it together and see what you could be in a few years. But If it's one of those things where it doesn't feel sustainable and the right player becomes available, maybe. But it also depends on their contract, because as we've seen in years past, loading up on 2 or 3 max contract level players makes it really hard to win in the NBA with this how balanced and young and athletic and team friendly salaries are in the NBA now. So for me, it would depend on who we're talking about and what their contract looks like, what their age looks like, what their injury history looks like. So not to steal Steven's word, but context here.
Yeah, that matters. It always does. And to that point, I guess it's just, for me, timing wise, when is it happening? Is it happening 2 years from now? Is it happening 1 year into getting to learn these players? Because obviously you can learn significantly more about players the more time you get to spend with them, pick up on habits, see how much they align truly with everything that you're trying to build to is. So that in mind, I would say yes, because I imagine the point in trying to take these steps forward is to bring in another talent that's going to allow for Devin Booker to contend.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say yes, but I caution with who is the player, what's their health, what's their contract, and what's the age.
I think if Malawach somehow balls out and exceeds expectations this season, I don't think you should move on from him.
Mm-mm.
Jalen Green is really like an interesting kind of tale where it's like, if he gets to this certain point where his, chemistry with Devin Booker is so good, and we'll talk about this a little later with another question, but they are ready to win now, he is your most likely candidate to be able to trade with a leap, especially contract-wise as well. If Dillon Brooks balls out this year, yeah. I mean, as much as I love Dillon Brooks, if you can get him in a package for a way better player because he's balling out, like, you do that, but I don't know how likely that is. Ryan Dunn's an interesting one. Like, where do you stand on him and his future if he has an incredible season and another team values him that much as well?
Right. It's just too soon to say, because we also need to see the Suns' context. Like, if they're like a 45-50 win team, maybe you're not trading any of these guys because you want to see, okay, this is where we're at with all these young guns. Imagine as they grow together and get better together and build that chemistry and that stability year over year,
The OKC
as
method.
opposed to reshuffling the deck every single season like we have been. So it all just depends. Like, if Jalen Green comes out and balls and surprises all of us and he's a great fit next to Devin Booker, keep him. He's 23 and
Yeah.
you can build on that, but it all just depends on what we see in the coming months.
Yeah. We have 3 questions in a row from Kwazaki. Again, I want to talk about Kwazaki.
I don't know.
Let me know, Kwazaki, on Reddit. I'm going to go through each of the 3, and I want us to talk about what is the most likely out of these 3 things to happen, because there's about 3 individual players. Then we'll take a break, and we'll keep going here on PHNX Suns.
Okay.
First one is, will Kaman Malawach be our best defensive center by the end of the season? Number 2, will Booker be able to reestablish himself as a top 15 player in the league while playing point guard? We might need to change that to top 10, depending on where the 3 of us stand on Devin Booker right now. And 3, will Grayson Allen look more like 2023-24 version or 2024-25? So what's more likely? Malawach, the best defensive center by the end of the season. Let's call it top 12 for Devin Booker playing point guard by the end of the season. Or will Grayson Allen look more like the version that he was when he was starting for the team 2 years ago?
I think the Devin Booker thing. I think it's hard to expect a rookie center to come in and be the best defensive center on your team. And I think Grayson, like, honestly, this question keeps coming up about, will Grayson bounce back? He still shot like 43% from 3 last year. Like, he wasn't scoring as much, but he was still double digits off the bench while adjusting to a 6-man role in injuries to start the year. Like, he didn't have a bad season. So I think his season will probably be somewhere in between those 2. So I think it's Booker. I think the extra load on him, he's going to do well with it, going back to being the number 1 undisputed option on the team.
Yeah, Booker, Grayson, Malawach for me.
Okay.
I think the Grayson one's interesting. 'Cause, yeah, I mean, he didn't have a terrible season last year, but he certainly wasn't as good as he was 2 years ago. I think that for me is something that I'm walking into, is if Grayson Allen can improve on the margins and get back to where he was when he was starting, but in a bench role for the Suns, I mean, that would be pretty big for the bench mob, the shooting on this team. And that difference is, what was it, like 47% from 3
It was
2 years ago?
46, but that's like not sustainable. Like that's
no,
a
sure, but
career
if he plays
year.
like it, if he plays like 2023, 24, then you're
that's
happy
why I'm
with
saying
it.
like we're acting like 46 to 43 is such a huge drop off considering the volume stayed the same and he's still one of the best shooters in the league. Like if anything, it was the finishing around the rim that needed to be better and the defense,
Defense for sure.
But like everybody sucked defensively last year.
Yeah,
I think he'll be better on that.
That's the thing. Like he's only going to be as good as the environment he's working in.
Yes,
he's not a player that's going to rise above the environment he's working in. Few role players in the history of the league have ever been that.
Yeah, and who knows? I mean, Kara says I'll give him some grace. He was a new dad, right? Like Gerald, it's gonna be pretty tough, huh?
I'm struggling.
And you are not playing NBA games.
Let me tell you, these bags under these eyes tell no lies. Like it's tough.
Well, is it a lie to say that the Suns are now constructed and ready to win now? We'll talk about that, plus some more individual player conversations. Devin Booker leadership, that's back on the table. We'll get into all of it right after our first break. I love repping my team. It's a big part of my personality, maybe more so than anybody else here at PHNX. I don't think a day goes by where I'm not somewhat wearing some sort of team merchandise or anything.
Think so.
And that's why I love our friends over at Rally House, Tempe, Mesa, Glendale. Those are the brick and mortar locations. I highly recommend you experience that. My first Rally House experience was at the Tempe Marketplace location. I was blown away by the selection that they had for ASU, for the Suns, for the D-backs, for the Cardinals. Like they had really everything there. But it's not just the brick and mortar locations, it's also the online store at rallyhouse.com. Hundreds of pages of not just clothes, but drinkware, signage, coolers, socks, all the fun little stuff. They even have sunscreen, like literally everything at Rally House. And unlike some of these other stores, you're not walking in and seeing Chicago Bulls merchandise or Lakers merchandise. That stuff makes me sick when I'm out and about. Find your local Rally House location. Shop their entire product assortment online at www.rallyhouse.com today. And we all know me, I'm Mr. Shade. Maybe we can get a Mr. Shade emoji. I love Shade and I love All Pro Shade concepts. In fact, I'm very jealous that Espo has a roll down patio shade to block the heat, keep his home up to 20 degrees cooler in that direct sun during the summer years. It feels like a year. Summer months, but also even during the winter. It can help keep warm air in and cool air out, and they can replace or fix most outdated or old patio shades and motorized awnings. The best part is you're not going to get scammed. You can't just not trust them. No, you can trust them for sure. Voted #1 by Ranking Arizona for patio shades in 2024. An A+ Better Business Bureau rating with over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google. Plus, they've been in business for over 20 years in the Valley. Call 623-204-1476. That's 623-204-1476 or visit allproshadeconcepts.com right now to schedule your free estimate. I don't like what's going down in the chat.
I think Melissa was talking about the Cubs.
Yeah,
she's talking about the Bears.
Oh, the Bears, like
She's
the Chicago
about
Bears.
The Bears in Chicago.
See, she said bear down, and now we've got U of A people thinking they're talking about
y'all
U
not
of A.
talking the same language.
No, it's okay. Go victory lap your win over a high school team in week 2. Go run your victory lap while you can, U of A.
Go Devils.
Yeah, I knew that was gonna be a little conflicting. Wrong bear down that y'all thinking that she's talking about.
Melissa, you started a train.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Forks up. From Fing Num. Man, these Reddit names are insane, man. Says, I think the biggest question is how this team is currently constructed. Are we actually good with that and plan on making minor tweaks as they gel? Or is the plan to be in sort of a midpoint development phase used to platform Jalen Green and move him when his value is high like we did with Oubre? Love the guys we drafted, but this team is still in an awkward build to me. I think positional versatility needs to be addressed. Do we feel like this team is being built to win now, or is this a stepping stone? Is it somewhere in between? Does this roster make sense?
Not as currently constructed. We've talked, it's a little bit lopsided at the 2, at the 5. We have a lot of questions about who's going to be playing the 3 and 4 spots. But I think you're at a stage where Devin Booker's the centerpiece and you are trying to build around him. So you targeted certain attributes with guys that all have some weaknesses or things to prove. So this season is all about evaluation for me. Who can be a good fit next to Devin Booker for the long haul? We have a lot of our own ideas right now, but we're really going to have to see how the season plays out and go from there. I don't think they built this roster thinking this team 3 years from now, all these guys are still going to be on it and we're going to be competing for finals. I think it's about evaluating, is this player playing above, what their value might be, and maybe we trade them for another piece that fits us better, or can we develop this young player? There's still a lot to figure out, but I view it as more of a long-term undertaking.
Yeah, it's a transitional season. It's a little bit of what they've wanted, but it's also more kind of things that they just had to accept. The Durant trade being one of them, and the pieces you got in return for that. So this is a step towards what it is that they're hoping to have as far as the roster goes after this season.
I will say this, though. I don't think that this team was constructed by the people in the front office or Jordan Ott with the idea of just, let's just give Jalen Green a platform to boost his trade value and move on from there. No, they're going to walk in game one. They're going to walk into training camp media day, which is in a couple of weeks, which is crazy. And they're going to be trying to win. This is a team that is going to try to win as many games as humanly possible this year. Are they built to win as many games as OKC, Houston, Denver, the Clippers, if they still have a franchise post aspiration, the Lakers, are they built for that? No, they're not built to be a contender, but they sure as hell are going to try and do that. And I think you're realistically looking at some awkward phase here in between as they figure out truly what their long-term plan is for the future. But they've got the young guys, they've got a ton of youth, and I think they're just going to kind of see what works and go from there. But they're certainly trying to win.
Yeah. They're nothing I said, I hope, is implying that. They're definitely trying to win, try to compete for a playoff spot. But realistically speaking, this is a team that is in a loaded West with a lot of young guys, a new head coach, and a lot of new pieces to incorporate. So it's going to take some time for those W's to start piling up, I think.
Yeah, and it's going to be a lot of it's going to be on Book, and the second in command there is going to be Jalen Green. Kwazaki continues to come with the questions here from Reddit. Says, will Jalen Green reduce his mid-range shot attempts, and will he try on defense?
I don't know. I don't know if it's unfair to say that he didn't try on defense when Houston was a top 5 defense, but I have brought up this stat. I think they were like 8 points per 100 possessions better defensively when he was not on the floor. So he will have to be even better here in Phoenix defensively than he was in Houston, which was a very good defense, but hopefully he can take a lot of the things he learned there, transfer them over. As far as the mid-range shot attempts, I do not know. I'm fascinated to find out, but I hope that the Suns are telling him downhill, 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 and we're going to get you some spot-up threes to make your life easier too.
Yeah, I don't think it's appropriate to apply that he wasn't trying on defense with the Rockets. Could he be better? Yes, but wasn't for a lack of effort. I'll say that. And as far as the mid-range shots go, I've been saying since the trade happened that I imagine Jordan Ott is going to challenge him in his shot profile as far as discernment on shots and ultimately what shots he's seen from film that best situate him and which shots he takes will best situate this roster that he's working with right now.
Yeah, and Jalen Green certainly has the ability to cut those out of his diet. Our friends over at All NBA posted the players in the NBA with the most drives from above the three-point line that ended with a field goal attempt at the rim, plus the points per drive on those attempts. Jalen Green, the second highest number in the NBA of drives to the rim that started behind the three-point line at 199, behind Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 224. He was 1.21 points per drive, which is there with Cade Cunningham, a little higher than Zach LaVine and Darius Garland, but lower than Shai, who was 1.44, Anthony Edwards, who was 1.3, Jason Tatum, 1.4. But there's no doubt in my mind that if it was the D'Antoni diet, like you got to go to the rim or you got to take a three, that Jalen Green has the archetype to fit into that pretty beautifully.
I hope so. And I hope that that's something that Ott is emphasizing to him, especially with how the Suns want to play. But yeah, get that guy downhill, play with pace, and good things will hopefully come from that.
Okay.
I mean, the other thing is he's not going to be going against the best defender on most teams.
True.
Correct.
When he's in lineups without Devin Booker, that changes some. But when he's on the court with him, that shifts things dramatically.
And likely when he's on the court without Devin Booker, it's probably going to be against, more often than not, second units, right? And second unit defenders. So,
they'll still make sure he has a primary defender that's there for him, but it won't be the same type as if he's going up against those types of lineups without without Devin Booker on the roster.
I think there is unfortunately a reality here with this where Jalen Green, like there are some players that just they aren't who they are, right? And they take shots that they shouldn't take. Besides the stats, besides what, maybe coaches are telling them, or maybe coaches say, okay, to get the most out of this player, I got to give them a little bit of a longer leash. As much as we want to imagine the fact that he's going to fully buy into this, which I think is an option and on the table, he might just be one of those guys that gets in love with his own shot a little bit and takes some ill-advised mid-range shots to go along with the highs and the lows of his game. Unfortunately, I do think that is a path that might happen this season, even if I have more faith in him as a player than to just go and do something completely stupid.
Yeah, this is the biggest test of that for sure. Whether, especially on a new team in a new context, as the second option instead of the first, whether he can cut down on some of those things because they were a byproduct of how Houston needed him to play, or whether they're things that are ingrained in how he approaches the game. And this will be a fun way to find out.
Yeah, again, I think the challenging that's going to come with him, but also the significant difference in space that he's going to be operating in is going to change. It's going to change his general outlook in terms of efficiency and shot impact.
We will see. God, I can't wait for them to play basketball.
Me too.
I can't wait for them to play
basketball. For 5 a.m.
Yeah, there's gonna be some people that were talking about Jalen as if he was just awful, like with no point of getting better. If they're about being accountable, apologize for it.
They are not, and they will not.
No, absolutely not.
Of course.
That's also
but they should.
Of course.
The I was traded for Kevin Durant tax.
Yes.
Right? Like you're judged on a different standard versus we've just had this guy and he's got his faults versus, hey, we're trading a top 10 player of all time, possibly the greatest scorer of all time for you. Like, you are the main part of the package. That is going to put you under a microscope, especially with Suns fans who are not happy right now. Nobody's happy in the Phoenix Suns land right now.
I'm happy.
I'm glad to hear that, Gerald. No Tackle 2787 says, my biggest question is how will Devin Booker do as the unquestioned quote-unquote leader of the team? No CP3, no KD, you the man now, Devin. And then Cap Brief 8985 says, is Book going to become a vocal leader?
I think so. I think he will be this year. I think this is something that if you look at the moves that they made, making such a drastic pivot from Big Three, my friend Kevin Durant is on the team, to now it's me and a lot of other guys that they put around me because they think will complement me. I think that comes with the territory, and I think that will be more of an emphasis for him. He said even last year he's trying to do that, but I think in some senses he deferred a little bit more to Kevin Durant because of the respect that he has for KD, because KD is one of the greatest, and when he's on a team, he is the best player on that team. But I think now that best player mantle has definitively gone back to Book, I think he will be more vocal. I think he'll be a leader of the team. I think Dylan Brooks will be more of a vocal leader. But I think Book is going to take it up a notch.
Yeah, I think some of it with KD was the deep reverence that clearly has always been there for Devin Booker, or for Kevin Durant from Devin Booker. But there's also a point where when you're looking at your offense, you want to get to your triggers as quickly as you possibly can. And the most double-team player, or one of the most double-team players in the history of the game, when he gets the ball in his spots or if he's in a pick and roll, is Kevin Durant. So if you can put Devin Booker in a role where I'm imagining him speaking as if I'm Devin Booker, I can be off the ball and playing off of someone else that's getting double-teamed. That's not something he's ever had in his career. Chris Paul would get different versions of a double-team and pick and roll where he's holding the attention of multiple defenders, but it wasn't an all-out blitz, the likes that Kevin Durant gets when he gets a post touch or he's in pick and roll. So it's just a little different, and I imagine that's some of why the kind of balancing or leaning into Durant was what it was. But yeah, he'll be fine as a leader. He's going to lead in the ways that he needs to. He needs to grow in those things, but he's not going to go and become Chris Paul. I hope people don't expect that from him because he's not that type of personality.
Right. You're not going to respect somebody who is trying to be something that they're not, right? Like if I came in here and tried to be quiet, people would be like, what the hell is going on? Like, that's just not who I am. Also, I think a lot of people point to the KD, that's why Book. Might I remind you that reportedly Devin Booker was literally asked by his head coach to stop being as vocal as he was being for the team.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't miss that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm still recovering from the concept of you not
Being
talking.
quiet? Yeah,
going from
no,
the talking tortilla to the silent sopapilla. It's just not.
Oh my God.
I don't see it.
I hate you. No, I just feel like throughout Devin Booker's entire career, everybody is like trying to find like a sticking point, like how to bring him down.
Yes.
Right? Oh, this guy can't start. Oh, he's starting, but he's on a bad team. Those are empty calories. Oh, he's on a good team. Well, it's actually Chris Paul's team. You know? Oh, he's Luka Doncic's son. Oh, no, now he's with Kevin Durant and the team is failing. And Devin Booker's not a leader. Right? If you watch Devin Booker play, it's not like he's ignoring his teammates. It's not like he's not talking to people.
Right.
And like quiet guys can be leaders in their own right. And maybe it just didn't work. So, yeah. Oh, look at that. We've got Tom in the chat. Tom Lemke just became a member.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you so much. Became an MVP.
Let's go.
Member. That is big time. By the way, if you're on mobile, you cannot see the join button, which is right next to the subscribe button, which you should also hit right here on PHNX Sports. But just a reminder for everybody, if you do become a member today, and you can do it on your desktop, you get access to custom emojis we're going to be releasing, and the more people that become members, the more emojis we release, and it's going to be specific for each show. So if you have requests on what types of emojis you'd like to spam in chat, you can let us know. You'll get access to non-essential content around here. So like some fun behind the scenes vlogs and extra content, nothing that we do on a day-to-day basis or anything that you're used to consuming that's out here and free to the public is going to be behind a paywall. Just think of it as an extra way to support us for $5 a month or for higher tiers if you want to become an MVP. That you can do for us directly if you do want to help us out, maybe instead of a super chat or whatever. But I also remind people that we're trying to raise money for Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. You can hit that donate button. That money goes to them. Become a big today. There's a link to sign up in our description. And of course, become a diehard. There's no better place to be involved in Arizona sports than right here. We're just trying to give you as many different avenues as possible to interact with the community, interact with us, share your ideas, and help you mold what the future of this channel, the future of this show is. Speaking of the future of the show, it'll happen right after this. I still can't get over it's the easiest ad read of all time. Just go get 50% off weed, man. Go get 50% off weed. At Zen Leaf Dispensaries, use promo code ZENPHNX. Get you 50% off a one-time purchase. Now, we can't give you 50% off for the rest of your life because then there'd be no more dispensaries to give you weed because it'd all be broke. But we can give you 50% off a one-time purchase, but this is for a limited time only. So if you're thinking, I'll bank that 50% for Christmas, I don't know if it's going to be around by then. Use it today. Get to Zen Leaf today with locations all across the valley, Chandler, Gilbert, North Phoenix, and more. It's easy to swing by before that 5 a.m. tip-off. I'm just kidding. They won't be open then. But you can swing by the night before the 5 a.m. tip-off and then enjoy some Zen Leaf however you like it, whether it's a vape, flower, edibles, tincture, whatever it is. They can get it over at Zen Leaf Dispensaries. Don't forget, limited time only. Use promo code ZENPHNX. Get you 50% off a one-time purchase. Zen Leaf, great weed, great service every time. And 50% off damn weed. Are you kidding me? I'm also not kidding when I tell you Mountain America Credit Union is the best place to use your Phoenix Suns card because it is the only place that you can use a Phoenix Suns card because it is the exclusive home of the Suns card. How many times can I say that? And of course, the official credit union of the Phoenix Suns. That Suns card available as a debit and a credit card. You can pair it with a My Style checking account to unlock extra benefits we've been telling you about, like telehealth access, travel events, loan rate discounts, mobile phone protection, and more. And you can turn it into a credit card as well. It's a no annual fee credit card that's available as a low rate option, cashback, or rewards card as well. And they're here to guide you forward on your financial journey with friendly people at many locations across the valley. So get your Suns card today, rep your team, enhance your finances, apply at any Arizona branch. Visit macu.com/suns to learn more. Insured by NCUA. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply. Loans are on approved credit. Big shout out to Chris, Melissa, Generational Hater, Kara, Shumdog, Christian, Muhammad, Freckled Mamba, Steven, you're in the chat, Kevo. Once again, Thank you to Tom for becoming an MVP as well. Ashley in here. We got the whole crew out on a Monday mailbag edition of PHNX Suns. Hit that like button and do all that other fun stuff we were just talking about. Let's keep it rolling here with Bruce Thrillis. Awesome name. Says, what will the Suns look like under Jordan Ott and his incoming staff? Will they be a remake of last year's Cavs, or will Ott work towards a new identity?
I think he'll work towards a new identity. I think he will take some things from Cleveland for sure, but this Suns team and their personnel and their makeup is not a carbon copy from what Cleveland had in terms of talent, in terms of having two bigs that can stay on the court together. So I think he'll take some things from Cleveland, but I think he's going to be like, one of the reasons they hired him is because he's so forward thinking. He's not just thinking about what works in the NBA now, but what works 2-3 years down the line. And so I think he's going to be implementing new ways, because when you're an assistant, you probably always have ideas, not all of which are immediately accepted or implemented. I'm sure a lot of these assistants, if they went out on their own, would take things with them, but do certain things differently based on what they would like to try.
It's going to be a brand new identity. For one, they don't have the exact same personnel. You have similar pieces, but you don't have the exact same. Nor do you have pieces that are at the same level in terms of development of skill and experience that the Cleveland Cavaliers had. So they might take things that were used and did work well there and bring them to Phoenix, but it's not going to be copy and paste as far as literally the same approach. With that, that's why I think this season is going to be fun, because now you give Jordan Ott, who had just the offense last season with the Cavaliers, now a full team to mold and shape into what he thinks is most conducive to a sustained level of winning in this NBA. And it's going to be basically his treasure trove. Mm-hmm. He's going to get the pieces incrementally over the next couple of years to do what it is he hopes to do. But right now he's going to be looking to just establish that foundation, and it won't be the exact same that was with the – I'm confused. that was with the Cavaliers last year.
Yeah. I also say this. If you think that if Jordan Ott stayed with the Cavaliers, that they would be a carbon copy of last year's Cavaliers, then you'd be doing Jordan Ott a disservice.
I mean, they weren't even the same team at the end of last season that they were at the beginning of last season.
Yeah, and if you think the Suns will be the same team at the beginning of the season versus last, again, I think back to something that Shane Young told us when he was on the show earlier this offseason, where he talked to Donovan Mitchell. And Donovan Mitchell mentioned Jordan Ott as his guy that was always sending new philosophies, new schemes, new plays into their group chat to try out on offense. We're talking about like overseas plays, right? We're talking about stuff from college, right? From different levels in the NBA. So if you think that Jordan Ott is going to, finally get the opportunity of a lifetime to be a head coach and just say, I'm going to do the same thing I did in Cleveland with different personnel, or B, think that even if he returned to Cleveland was just going to do the same thing again, like that's not how the best minds in the NBA work. You want to be a year ahead, not 2 years behind. And that's how Jordan Ott got to where he is right now. We'll see if it's successful, right? The jury is still out if he could be a good head coach in this league, but by all accounts, he is not somebody who's going to be a carbon copy of anything year in to year out.
He is a basketball nerd, and I say that in the best way possible. He is a leave no stone unturned kind of guy in terms of evaluating and exhausting all different types of options and what you can do on the court. He's a guy who knows his stuff. So I think that's going to translate well, but he's going to take some things from Cleveland, but he's going to work to build a new identity based on the personnel that he has and the way that he wants the Suns to play.
We have more questions on Jordan Ott. This one from AZTricks22 says, of course it's important to think about players' roles and leaps, but last season we played with no real identity, just mashed hoopers together and got wrecked. And any good system takes time to implement, but how quickly do you think the players will take to adapt and gel under Ott's tactics?
It's a good question, because we saw last year under Bud, they started off great. And they were doing all the things that Bud wanted to do in terms of taking more threes and whatnot. And then Kevin Durant got hurt for a little bit, and then the season just fell to crap after that, and they kind of stopped buying in. So I genuinely don't know. I think we'll see them implementing a lot of the things that Jordan Ott wants from day one and early in the season. The question, and this is one we brought up, is will that buy-in remain as the losses pile up? And I think it will, because I think you've got a younger, maybe more coachable group with less established players who are trying to make their way in this league. And I think one of the things that Steve Nash said about this hiring process when Jordan Ott got the job is substance rules the room. And Devin Booker would not have stamped off on the hiring of Jordan Ott if he didn't think he knew his stuff. So hopefully that buy-in kind of permeates throughout the locker room.
Yeah, it's gonna take some time, but I think it'll resonate most quickly with the two best players on the roster, and Devin Booker and Jalen Green. And because of that, I think that they'll get a little bit of a kind of expedition to the process. It won't be as slow on the offensive end, at least, because you have these two drivers of an offense that have been doing so for multiple years. In a system that might be most conducive for each of them individually and in tandem with one another than they've seen quite so far. So, and I think the other part of it too is if the defense gets to where it needs to be early on, that's naturally going to make the offense easier to navigate because they'll be in transition, secondary breaks, and be going up against less set defenses.
It's going to take some time for them to fully adapt to what Jordan Ott wants them to be, because what Jordan Ott wants them to be is what Devin Booker wants them to be. It's what Matt Ishbia wants them to be. It's what we want them to be. And that's a championship level team, one that's going to cut down the nets for the first time in Phoenix Suns history. Mm-hmm. They need to take a step in that right direction. And I fully expect that this team will be a well-coached, well-bought-in team, and that is all that you could ask for at this stage of where we are with the history of the Phoenix Suns. Last question specific to Jordan Ott. This one comes from Rightward Grunt. Man, these Reddit names rock. Says, will they establish the identity they have talked about? Playing faster, defensive identity, toughness, rebounding, etc. And how does Ott put the players in the right positions to play that way, and do the players buy in and fit in?
I think they will. I think they'll establish more. I mean, the bar is in hell compared to last year, but I think they will be better than last year in terms of establishing that identity. I think you will see more offensive rebounding. You'll see more defensive pressure and hopefully forcing more turnovers. A team that plays faster because their personnel is built that way. Do I think it's going to translate to a ton of wins? Maybe not immediately, maybe not this season. But I think you will see certain things about the way that they play the game that stand out compared to last year's team where it was just kind of roll the ball out, let Devin Booker and KD hoop.
There's less of a kind of balancing act and usage and things like that that's going to be in place. So it's easier to play to an identity when you have more identifiable pieces. It's not who's the one today. It's Devin Booker's the one every game, and your offense is going to go through him in some capacity. That's never going to come into question. I think more of the identity part for me is going to be on the defensive end. Scheme-wise, coverage-wise, consistency, habit-wise, those things are going to be what tells me what their identity is. And for all the things that he said and the ways that he desires for his team to play, and looking at those things and how they played out with the Cavaliers last season, this will be a team that has an identity from day one of training camp.
Yeah, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be amazing at all of these things, even if they try. I think the one that I'm looking at the most is the rebounding side of things, because when you talk about like, okay, Dillon Brooks or Ryan Dunn's going to be your starting for rebounding-wise, even though I think that Dunn is a better rebounder than people give him credit for, you're probably not going to be dominating the offensive boards, right? Especially if, let's say, Mark Williams does end up getting injured or not able to play a ton, and you're starting an Oso who needs to get better at the rebounding, Nick Richards, who isn't exactly the most imposing force down there, he's fine for a backup center, or Kaman, whose probably biggest weakness as a big man is his toughness and rebounding, right? I think there's a certain thing where it's like you're going to be semi-limited by your personnel and who you have available to you, but I do think Ott will put them at least in the best position to scheme around that, whether it's, okay, Ryan Dunn, we're going to have you crash really hard on the offensive glass, try to get putbacks, and that means Dillon Brooks, you're going to run back to try to defend in transition if you don't grab that rebound. Or on offense, if you're going to set up somebody in the dunker spot or make out of Mark Williams as a hub or use Jalen Green's gravity to help Devin Booker and vice versa, to play fast and to play tough. Like, I think that there are ways that you can get more out of these players than maybe what they can bring on a normal basis, but I don't necessarily look at this roster and say, like, that's going to be one of the toughest, hard-nosed rebounding rosters in the NBA. I think it's just going to a lot of times come down to effort.
Yeah, I think so. And for the offensive side of the equation, offensive rebounding a lot of times is effort and just the dictation, go crash the glass. Everybody crash the glass. We're seeing it more and more in the NBA, and I think that will be a point of emphasis. But you're right, defensively, everybody's going to have to be involved because you are a little bit more undersized in your lineup, in your starting lineup, despite all the size that you've added pretty much everywhere else on the roster.
Anything else on that, Steven?
Nope.
Then let's get to a fun one. Nate in our Die Hard Discord asks, Hypothetically, swap any one non-top 10 player in the league with someone on the Suns roster. No restrictions or rules. Which swap has the most positive impact on the Suns record? Should we determine the top 10 players in the league right now so that we can draw a line there?
Yes.
So, no Nikola Jokic,
Mm-hmm.
no Shea,
Mm-hmm.
no Giannis,
Mm-hmm. No Luka.
no Luka, no Jason Tatum, even though he's
No
injured.
Jason Tatum. No Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant, Steph Curry,
Steph Curry. Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid, Jalen Brunson, Donovan Mitchell. I know it's the stuff that we were
I
kind of
wouldn't
arguing.
put Donovan Mitchell that high.
What was our
missing?
ranking? I forget what our ranking was. Okay, we'll say
So
something.
no Jokic, no Giannis, no Shea.
Is Wemby a top 10 player?
Not yet.
Okay, then
He might be this season, but not yet.
then you swap.
Where's
swap,
Kawhi in that?
You swap.
Kawhi?
He's
Close.
borderline.
He's
borderline
borderline.
10.
He's not top
LeBron.
10 though.
Bron's borderline, but I don't think top 10. If you swap Wemby for Nick Richards,
I mean,
there we go.
we did it.
I feel like that's maybe the best answer.
Make it happen, BG.
What about like if we're going like high end player to high end player? If we swapped like a Jalen Green for like a Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, I mean, I know he's injured as well, but Tyrese Halliburton, I was like, where is he? He's outside the top 10.
After
He's
last
close.
season, for his performance last season, he was top 10.
Yeah,
If he's not top 10, then he's
close.
11 or 12.
But we didn't name him when we went through our top 10.
Okay. Let's go through maybe some lower level top players. I mean, Zubats.
That's too far into role player. I mean, he's an elite role player after last season, especially, but still in that category. If we're talking like stars or borderline stars, like, that's tough. Who am I thinking?
Siakam.
Siakam
your
was
four.
Siakam.
Swap out
Jaren Jackson Jr. for
Yeah.
Mark Williams.
Royce O'Neal for Pascal Siakam.
Or Nick Richards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get a young guy. You get like a Paolo,
Jalen Williams.
Jalen Williams, a Paolo,
Evan
Mobley.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Evan Mobley.
Evan Mobley would be pretty
Mhm.
sick.
I mean, Wemby still moves me the most, but
I mean, yeah, Wemby.
JJJ, Mobley.
Wemby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm cool with that.
hey, Nate, great question. Let's have you work on a way for the Suns to get that done. Because if we could swap Wemby for Royce O'Neal,
Mhm.
no disrespect, Royce O'Neal,
No.
that would be pretty great.
It would be
Pretty great. All right. Another question from Nate says, which team is going to be your main side piece in the NBA this season? Steven, you cannot say all 29 other teams.
I wasn't going to say all 29.
He's like, but I do have my top 20. Steven, who are you looking at? Let's give like a top 5 league pass alert. Like, who are the 5 teams that you're like, oh, they're playing tonight? Even more so than usual, I got to watch this.
Well, naturally, Oklahoma City is first.
Mhm.
Because they continue to reinvent, they continue to add layers to the things that have made them good. The Denver Nuggets, naturally. Steph Curry is always must-watch TV. LeBron James is always must-watch TV. Chris Paul is always must-watch TV. That's what, 5 teams now? 4 teams? 5
I think that
teams?
was 5.
You said 10?
I said 5, but
Five,
I know
five.
you, so keep rolling.
There you go.
You get that's okay.
I can if you want me to, but I think Atlanta is very intriguing.
Atlanta
Atlanta
Atlanta's
is
healthy,
very, very
Mhm.
intriguing.
Mhm.
if Reece Shea can play more minutes, if Jalen
Mhm.
Johnson and Chris Stapps stay healthy, and
Mm-hmm.
they just say, Trey, go cook, you're surrounded by length and shooting.
Yep, the Knicks are gonna be fun again.
Mhm.
There was one other team that I was thinking about. Oh, Houston, of course, naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Hate watch. Gerald, what teams are you keeping your eyes on?
Thunder, Rockets, Nuggets at the top of the West. Those teams are going to be really good, and I'm fascinated to see how KD fits in Houston, how Cam Johnson fits in Denver. Spoiler alert, probably very well. Orlando is kind of my darling team of the East. I feel like they were on the right path before injuries last year, and I like the pieces that they added over the summer. I'm also fascinated with Atlanta. Those are probably the Clippers got to be in there for me too, and the Spurs if they make that leap.
Can I say something brave?
What?
We're all cool here?
I think.
We're all
I
talking.
don't like the way
Depends on
you're
what
setting
you're
this
getting ready
up.
to
I'm
say.
worried. Yeah, what?
I'm pretty excited to watch the Washington Wizards play basketball this year.
Get out.
I,
What? Why? What?
I'm really high
This
on
is-
Bilal Coulibaly. He hasn't had a great Eurobasket, but I'm really high on Bilal Coulibaly.
This man named a bottom 3 team in the
I-
NBA. As
I
a
didn't
team.
say they were going to be good, but I think that they're building something fun there. I like the fact that, they're kind of poised to make a move if they want to trade one of these big contracts that they have. And at the same time, like, they're going to get off of all those contracts at the end. So if you're looking for a team that might have some rehabilitation for some older players, so like a Chris Middleton and whatnot,
But see, all you're talking about right now is the stuff about the NBA that's not the basketball.
No, I don't think they're going to be a great basketball team, but I think they have a lot of really, really intriguing young players, and I'm kind of excited to watch them just to
Fail?
see. I like Bub. Bub is fun. I love Bilal. Keyshawn George is a great shooter. Like, I like AJ Johnson. Will Riley's interesting. I'm not super high on him. Alex Sarr, though, I think is going to be better. I don't know. And I guess, CJ McCollum is on the team, so that's a tough look for me. But I said, can I say something brave? I asked if I could say something brave.
Is it brave or foolish?
I also think if Tumani wasn't on the Trailblazers, that would be a lot easier of a pill to swallow. But I think they're going to be a fun team to watch, especially defensively as well. What about you, Freckled Mamba, old mangled toes? Any teams you're keeping your eyes on?
Mine's easily Orlando. I'm a huge Paolo Banchero lover, and I think they surround him almost perfectly with who they've had, and then I think Gerald touched on it, who they've gotten over the offseason. I think they're poised for a good year.
Desmond Bain.
Muhammad in the chat says, Pelicans, Poole and Zion about to shake up the league. Zion will play 65-plus games and make an all-NBA team.
Oh, man. I mean, I hope that would be entertaining because I love watching Zion play when he's healthy. It's been every other year, and I think he's due for a healthy year this year based on how the trend has gone. But, the Jordan Poole, I have no idea what the Pelicans are doing. It's brutal.
I will say this. It's going to be fun to watch just how bad the Brooklyn Nets are. Michael Porter, there's the Washington Wizards, and then there's the Brooklyn Nets. Fun young team that's probably not going to win a lot of games, but is I think has a good coach and a good identity. And then it's the Brooklyn Nets who have Michael Podcaster Jr., who is just all-time bad PR tour.
I'm so glad Cam Johnson got to the rendezvous spot and we were able to extract him from Brooklyn for this season because holy crap.
Last question here from Leo. Thank you, Leo. Says, we all know you guys love Nintendo, especially you, Gerald.
Mhm.
My question is, which Suns player reminds you of that Nintendo character? For example, Book is Mario because they're both the face. Bowser is Dylan Brooks because he plays the villain. But who are the rest? Gerald, I cede the microphones to you.
Yeah, I got my notes here. So I'm actually going with Devin Booker as Link instead because he is the main hero, but Link's a more quiet, laid-back guy. I think Mario's more animated, vocal, in your face, and that's just not really Devin Booker. He's more the chill, quiet one. So I put him as Link, and I think Bowser as Dylan Brooks. I think it works, but I think Ganondorf works better as the bad guy because Ganondorf's actually a real badass. He will mess you up. And Bowser's just kind of more the cute and cuddly version of that. Come on, Malwatch is Yoshi. Everybody loves Yoshi. Nobody has a problem with Yoshi. They adore him. Come on, Malwatch, adored by all his teammates. I think Mark Williams is Donkey Kong because he's just going to move people around in the paint. He's going to play physical. Ryan Dunn and Oso Igudaro are Waluigi and Wario. Yeah.
Come on, now you gotta make the noise.
Stop it.
Give me a wah.
No.
Come on.
No.
Wah.
No.
Wah.
I agree, but no.
It's fine.
Wah.
We'll get it before the end of the season.
One day.
Doubtful.
Jalen Green is
Nerd.
Luigi because I feel like he's actually a very solid player, but has been maybe miscast throughout his career, underappreciated, underestimated, and maybe now he'll get his chance to shine. I don't know who's Mario on the Suns.
Jordan Ott.
Yeah, there you go.
No,
Sure.
I don't know. By the way, if you're watching on TV, the party always continues over at gophnx.com. We're in overtime. I believe Melissa would like you to do the noise, Steven.
Not happening.
Come on.
It's not happening.
We're not ending the show until you give us even if it's just a little.
I'll get comfortable. We got Mercury
What would it
at
say?
five-
I
we
do
got
not
Mercury at
care about
5:30
holding you
so
hostage.
What would it take?
It's not. It's just not
Come
happening.
on,
There's no way it would
dude.
take. It's just not happening.
Why?
No, it's not
Why
my
not?
thing. It's not my
It's not
thing.
his thing.
Okay.
Nobody ever asked you to raise your right hand.
And then I'll do it.
I said no one ever asked you to.
Yeah, but if they did, I would do
I didn't
it.
ask you.
If they did, I would do it.
That's not
Melissa's heart is breaking in the chat.
Oh.
No, that was the Bears that did that, not me.
Oh.
Mm.
It's a weird way to spell Ravens, but okay.
Is that why? Is that why you won't do it?
What?
Because it sounds like a raven caw.
Nah.
Wow. Was that what you were doing last
Shout
night
out- shout out
after the
Poe.
game?
I can't even talk crap.
We don't get that mad over regular season games, but yes, that was embarrassing for sure.
I can't even talk
Cards are-
crap. I hate my
Cards are
quarterback.
1-0. Yeah,
it's
your
fine.
quarterback.
I hate him.
What
He
is
did.
there-
He played great. I
okay.
hate him though.
Is there a worst potential podcasting duo than Aaron Rodgers and Michael Porter Jr.? Like, is there? Could it be
Yikes.
worse?
I mean, yeah,
Could it be worse?
Technically, but we don't want to talk about those types of people.
That's fair.
So in the sports
For the
world,
sports world,
no.
Antonio Brown,
Oh yeah, that would be bad.
Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Rodgers, and just Shohei Ohtani's interpreter for some reason.
Oh my god, just broke the
That's
podcasting
crazy.
game.
that's
Delete the
crazy.
footage. Don't give anybody any ideas.
Yeah, that's
Good God.
Oh
tough.
God! Well, on that note,
What
quick,
a horrible note.
quick, everybody, name a dude to cleanse. Ayrton, name a dude.
Sonny Weems, has that been brought up too
Dude,
much?
I mean, my brain always goes to Sonny.
That's where
Weems, too.
my first thought is always Sonny Weems.
Always.
Let's go each one more.
Each one more. Oh, that's a dude.
There you go.
Name a dude.
Zoran Dragic.
Nice. I'll say a little Alfred Payton. One saw him get his hair cut down at Cityscape.
David West.
Nice.
Okay.
I love how we're always naming Suns dudes. It seems like here's a hooper from somewhere else. Danny Granger. That's a dude.
Oh, I love Danny Granger. It was heartbreaking when his son's tenure lasted 0 games.
Yeah, that was tough. On that note,
Bummer.
you can follow the show at PHNX_Suns. That is on Twitter. That is also on Instagram, keeping you up to date with all the latest Suns news as we get closer to Media Day, closer to training camp, closer to the preseason, to the 5 a.m. tip-offs. And, of course, October 22nd is Game 1 against the Sacramento Kings. We'll be here for pregame and postgame shows and all of your Phoenix Suns coverage, which is why you need to hit that subscribe button right now so you don't miss anything, especially right now when I know it's hard for you to find all the Suns content that you want and you need because it's dead. Well, guess what? We're still here
It's not
for
hard
you.
because we here.
That's right. It's not hard because we hear Steven doing film breakdowns, Gerald, of course, writing articles. You can find the film breakdowns on YouTube, the articles at gophnx.com. You can also become a member as well today. You can spam emojis in the chat, help support us directly. If you go up a couple tiers, you get some exclusive behind-the-scenes vlogs. But again, nothing from your day-to-day, nothing that you're used to seeing and getting for free will ever go behind that paywall. So don't you dare worry about that. You could also become a diehard today as well.
And, teaser, you want to be here tomorrow at 3 p.m.
Oh, man.
We got a good show for you, and it's much better than normal September Suns content. So be here at 3 p.m. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Steven's going to go, wow.
You'll see the
During the
announcement.
cold open.
You'll see the announcement
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Big week. Big week for PHNX Suns. Big month for PHNX Suns. Big year upcoming for PHNX Suns. If you want to know the announcement first, jump into our diehard Discord today. If you want to know it second, follow us at PHNX_Suns on Twitter and on Instagram. And of course, if you want to find out in the moment, you could be here tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Of course, we appreciate the Freckled Mamba, a.k.a. Ayrton, a.k.a. Juice Man, a.k.a. Old Mangled Toes behind the Mac, making all of the magic happen. You can follow him at Freckled Mamba. We need a wah emoji.
Wow.
Wah, spam whams in the chat. You can follow Mr. Wham Man over here at Steven PG3. You can follow Gerald at Gerald Bourget. You can follow me at ERIKRUBY. Wah.
We all silly like the mayor.